Hey, Pearl, how are you today? Hey, and here's Minnie. Look at the pretty flowers I just planted. What? Oh, you're right. I almost forgot. Another day of soul care.
Intensive Soul Care. Hi, everybody. Welcome to SoulCARE Intensive. That's on Thursdays. And we're changing on the opening and stuff. So right in the middle of doing that. So welcome. And I'm going to talk today by the 28th day of love. Today be the 16th day. We'll go over that and a couple other great things and chat with you and get questions and answers. Hey, Sharon Hughes. Hi, Julie. Hi, Bonnie. I'm all red because I was standing in an hour in the sunlight at a dog park this morning. I didn't bring my cap, and I tried finding the shade, but it was a little hard, and I realized I got so red. I had to bring my dog Pearl to the dog park that I'd never been before because the other one I would go to is closed, repaving it. So her boyfriend, Buzz, goes to this other dog park. So I called the mommy up and I said, can Buzz and Pearl meet? And they did. And they had a great time. Good way to meet people. Hi, Bobby. Hi, Val. How are you, Val? Good to see you. Jackie Klein. Hello. Wow. Marzena from Warsaw, Poland. First time I ever had someone from Poland that I knew about. So welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Carolyn. Hi, Tanta from Germany. What part of Germany, Tanta, are you from? I love Germany. Been there 3 times. Warsaw. Oh, Poland, Warsaw. Yes, relatives of mine come from there. Yes. Washington State. Hello. Hello, Kimberly Weddle. Hello. Good day. Oh, it's snowing in Chicago. Oh, and I thought 55 was freezing this morning. It actually started at 45, and now it's about 70. It's very odd. Within 2 hours, it changes. Hello from Florida. I also wanted to let everyone know that yesterday was the first day of the spiritual life coaching course, the first call. You can still sign up for that. People have asked me about that. Even though the course has started, the first call began yesterday. You can always get a copy of that call. It's no problem. And we'll have 2 other calls coming in, actually 3 other calls. So 3 other calls will be scheduled. And you can always sign up for the life coach course. We had a great call yesterday. So if you want to look into that. Well, there it is on the banner that Renee put up. Spiritual Life Coaching Certification Course. And you can look it up, of course, on the website, the JDP School of Mystical Arts website, and read all about it. Some interesting stuff came up yesterday's call about digging up stuff from our past and letting it come to the surface and having the awareness of that, and what you're going to discover and find. So very interesting. Interesting. And today is 28 Days of Love I want to talk to you about, because we've talked about this for the past the third week, 2 weeks, about first loving yourself, and the second week, of course, loving another. And this week is all about your sacred space and finding that sacred space and using that sacred space. And we talked about putting objects in that you love, that make you feel this feeling of love and this stirring inside you, that passion. And I told you I put my 2 sacred spaces, but one is my walk-in closet, and I sit there and I have a chair and I have a candle in there. Not that I always light it, but I have some things that I look up and it makes me smile. I have pictures in there, some statues in there, and it just makes me smile. And a new one yesterday on Facebook, someone sent me a picture of myself as a Cub Scout when I was 8 years old, and it was at a father-son dinner. And my father wasn't there, but my brother was. So it's funny because I haven't seen that picture probably in 50 years, 55 years. That's pretty funny. I think I might put it up on Facebook eventually. First got to kind of get over it, but it's pretty funny. But anyway, this week we're talking about our sacred space. And I also mentioned that, when you look around in your sacred space, what makes you feel good, what makes you feel loving, stirs that self within you. And then also, today I just want to talk a little bit about the extended space, which is where you live, which is if there are things in your house or your apartment or where you're dwelling, where you look at it, you think, oh, I'm not crazy about that. I think that it's good to minimize things in a way, like get rid of that stuff that holds us back, because many times we collect things and There are people that, of course, hoard, which is a mental disorder, but also everyday people who don't have mental disorders tend to hold on to things. And many times it's emotional. It's just something that they remember. It's a moment they have, and they want to remember it by that object, which I'm guilty of that as well. I think that it's hard sometimes to throw those things out. You always have it in your heart, but it does help you to remember. But when I say minimize, I'm saying, let's say you like to collect, I don't know, salt and pepper shakers. I don't know why that came in my head, but I have hearts. Now I have a lot of hearts. I collect hearts, and I didn't really start to collect hearts. Hearts were sent to me by people, so I have a collection of these hearts. So I decided to, in my space, which I think is every once in a while good to do this, is to minimize your space, to clear the space, to get rid, if you will, the clutter, because it affects us, the energy that seems to be held back when a place is filled. And I remember several readings I've done where spirit has come through to the participants and said, that room, the next room, you have all that stuff in there, and it's not good for the energy flow. It's kind of like feng shui. So energy needs to flow freely. So if you have a lot of things and you collect a lot of things, the same thing, a great way to let go of it is to give it to someone else who could use it, that would get something out of it. So for me, my collection of hearts that I had, at one time I had 50 or 60 different hearts. I started giving them to people. If they visit my house, I give them to them. Or I one time had them in my car, some of them, not all of them, about 5 of them. And I just give them to someone who I met that I felt needed that. And of course, it's good to pass that along with. I think minimizing space and minimizing waste is a very good conscious a choice, and not to consume so much, because we are a society of consumers, aren't we? Retail and all that sort of thing. And maybe it's age that I've gotten older, but the longer I live, the more I realize we don't need it. They're just things. They're just things. You can't take them with you, right? So I think it's nice to slowly let go of those things that serve their purpose. They did serve their purpose, and then time to clear it out and let it go. And I just told you guys the other day, I got rid of 30 years worth of CDs. And it was strange, but it was also a good release to let things go that you don't no longer need. So decluttering and cleaning the space is really important. And sharing those, like I said, sharing those items that you might have with other people. I can't tell you how happy I am when I give something to someone and it makes them smile, even if it's a crystal, even if it's a book, a piece of statue. It's great to see that you can share that with someone else. So think of it that way, sharing that. And I also mentioned the other day about using color in your space, that color, that vibration, that frequency. And everybody is different, of course. So certain colors you'll be attracted to bring that vibration up and that frequency up, and others you will not. And so I say surround yourself with those that make you feel up, that bring love to you and make you feel happy. I think it really helps with your mindset. And if you have your whole surrounding where you live in colors that you love, things that you love. And one secret of design, which I've mentioned before, is that the eye is always got to keep busy, at least for me. It's good to rest the eyes too. But for me personally, I like to look at a certain space. Oh, I like the way that looks. I like the way it's formed. I like the way it's shaped. I like that color over there. Oh, I like that painting right there. Whatever makes you feel good, I think is really, really important. A good kind of rule I have: if you don't love it, let it go. So surround yourself with items, memorabilia that bring joy and make you happy. But I say, 1 or 2 is great. If you have like 20 things, you don't need all those. Other people could use those. So minimizing is really, really good. So that's what I wanted to talk about. That was our 28 Days of Love. I just want to mention that to you. And also the Love course is 50% off. And the code is LOVE28 if you go to my homepage, vanproud.com. Less is more. Hi, Sue Wells. Good to see you again. Hello, Ann Color. And Sue, Ann's going to go on the cruise. Laura, you're not going on the cruise, are you? I don't think you are. Sue Wells, I have given some of my angel figurines to friends. I even kept some for myself. Good, Sue. You're very talented. Oh, Bobby Joe. This is very, very interesting. Bobby Joe, wow. Says, I'm a sudden cardiac arrest survivor of 18 minutes. The color is extremely important to me. That's really interesting, Bobby. I was just watching a show, Surviving Death, the other night. And the first episode is near-death experiences. And it was great. It was well done. I've seen many documentaries. I've seen many movies special about near-death experiences, and that's probably one of the best they portray it with the colors and so forth. And I think you'd really enjoy that because it talks, especially this was the most, well, they're all remarkable stories, of course, but a lady who I've known this story for a while. She was a doctor, and she was kayaking with friends, and she got caught underneath the water for about a half hour, 30 minutes. And they got her out in a very strange way that her life jacket was afloat. And one of the people, became instead of a rescue mission, just to find the body, basically, that she couldn't survive. And they saw her life jacket floating down. And one of the guys there grabbed it, thinking, keep that for her husband. And he felt her leg, and that's how they took her out. And she said that in that time that it was really quite amazing. She said the colors are very, very brilliant, beyond anything we have here, of course. She said you can feel things, tonalities, structures. Everything is one. Everything is a beautiful hugging of love and passion, and you immediately know that you're part of everyone else. So really, really good. So I think color is very important. I know the tone, the variety. I live in San Diego, and I have a place where I'm able to see a lot of kind of hillsides, and I have a lot of my garden, a beautiful garden I've created. And I love it during the different times of the day, the colors that come in from the sun hitting the certain textures. It's so beautiful. And it's those little subtleties of color and light and the spatial ratio and so forth that I think it stirs up my soul. And I think everybody can have that if they allow themselves to have that space around them. Good. Yeah, color is important. I really believe so. As I'm wearing my non-color t-shirt today, my doggy park outfit. Yes, Dark Crystal Tarot. Yes, surviving death. Great stories with resilience. It's true. Blues are different, I hear. Yeah, the colors and the music. Yes, Bobby Joe. The colors and the music. And on the other side, they talk about many times. They will mention that when they go to, let's see here, a symphony, it is made up by those souls who love music. There's a passion, and that they're uniform. They come together, the same love of music. And they have someone who conducts them. And they say that when you go to a concert over there of symphony, you'll see them not only playing instruments, some instruments we have here, others we don't, but not only will you hear the music, but you actually see the melodies. You see the notes as lovely colors, very much like a Disney movie. But, very interesting. It's 100 years that Walt Disney started his company. And I just saw last night, this is a 100-year anniversary of Disney. It's very, very interesting because I think Walt Disney was before his time. I think that the animation, of course, was incredible, but also the foresight. And I do think he was very much a wise being. And my mother was a secretary in New York in the 1940s. Remember that. I think, yeah, that's really important. Animation is beautiful. I was also watching last night the AFI tribute to Julie Andrews, the life achievement to Julie Andrews. And I've seen it once before. It happened in 2022. And I loved it because I grew up with Mary Poppins and Sound of Music, of course. And they're some of the first movies I ever saw. And she's just lovely, Julie Andrews. She's just a beautiful, lovely being, and genuine and authentic and just gentle. And yet she's a real dame, they say. So it's good. You should watch that. Some lovely animation there from Mary Poppins they show way before its time. They talk about that. There's also a great Netflix show, The Making of Mary Poppins. And again, that was some innovative animation that they used in that time, back in 1964, I believe it was. Good. Good night, Fiona. Good night, Fiona. It's your bedtime. Everything is alive. Love, love, love. Yes, it's very true. Charlene Miller. I wondered if Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, and Stevie Ray Vaughan jammed together. I'm sure they might. They see each other for sure. I'm sure they might. It's such an expansive space. Such an expansive space. It's beyond us, but it's so open there. And it's interesting that you're joined in by your beliefs and your likes and your dislikes, who you are. So just really interesting. I also want to mention too that we're doing the cruise. The cruise is booking up, and Anne will be there. And what color are you going to wear in the cruise? So it's gonna be summer, so it'll be late 60s, early 70s. So, but definitely a coat as well because it rains sometimes in Skagway. A little rainy, but yeah, at the end of August. So there's still a room for everybody if you want. There's I think we have about 50 more spots open, and they're right there. Renee put up the banner, Stepping in the Spirit World, and Yeah, so that'd be fun. Hello, Lori. How are you? SRV. Very good. And then I also want to mention to everybody that Gordon Smith and I are going to do March 5th. We're going to do a workshop together, modern day mediumship. A lot of people ask about how do you do readings online, with Zoom, the technical part of it. How do you do these platform readings? How do they differ than personal readings? There are different guidelines that we're going to go through, and also technical things we're going to go through. It'll be interesting because you have to really be aware of certain things. It's difficult in some respects because you're doing a reading, you're tuning in, but also there's a technical part. So we're going to talk all about that. So if you want to join us for that, I think there are maybe 5 spots left in the course. It's a limited amount. It's only 40 people, I think. So it's limited. All right. Any questions? Stop it, James. And you're funny. Okay, good. You thought I said Gordon Ramsay. No, Gordon. Did I say Gordon? No, I didn't say Gordon. Gordon Smith. Gordon Ramsay. I just saw a photograph of Gordon Ramsay 2 days ago. Funny you say that. Wish I could join you on the cruise. I wish. Oh, Val, I wish so too. But our paths will cross again, Val. I promise. Our paths will definitely cross again. It's on my website, vanprog.com. See when the time is for Gordon Smith on March 5th. Oh, it's 10 a.m. So it's 10 a.m. So 1 o'clock New York time, 1 o'clock East Coast of the United States, and 10 o'clock on the West Coast of the United States. Bobby Joe, you go to to get a private reading, you can go to vanprog.com, my website, and go on the resources page and look on mediums. And there are several people there that I suggest. Their skill set is quite great. So any of them that are on there are fine. I stopped doing readings 20 years ago. I just do them for groups, the groups down. So you just get the word out that way, teaching on another level, if you will. But they're very good. Can you feel someone's energy when they are still alive in the human form? Yes. Yeah, of course you can. Definitely you can. And we're all energy, so of course you can feel their energy. Why couldn't we? Well, we might think about it too much. So our thoughts get in the way and blocks us. But we should be able to feel energies of people. Of course we should. Yeah, no reason you couldn't. It's just the head gets in the way. That this brain gets in the way. So you have to go from the heart space. Remember, live heart forward, heart out. Yeah. Okay. My 13-year-old suffers terrible anxiety. You know, Sharon, instead of a course for your niece, I would suggest, I would really suggest meditation. I would suggest meditation. I would suggest what I call sitting in the stillness, and just sitting quietly with her and helping her to learn about her breath, breathing in and breathing out, and just feeling her heart, and just getting her to a point of just relaxing with the breath and grounding her. And I think that would be really good. And that's a good start. It wouldn't overwhelm her. I don't think she would need anything too much. It would be overwhelming for her. So you want to be as simple as possible and start that way. And do exactly what I've said about the 28 Days of Love. You want to go back and look at some of them. It's really about taking the time to be with oneself, like to love oneself, and living in love, not fear. So maybe you can help her not be afraid of things. So there's a fine balance there too between, is it biochemical? Is it something within her chemistry makeup, or is it emotional? And where is it coming from? But the best thing I'd say is the meditation, sitting in the stillness. And when I say meditation, it's not necessarily an active meditation. It's a passive meditation. So really just sitting in the quiet and we're being aware of the breath, breathing in through the nose at a count of 3, all the way down to your feet and past the feet, and then exhaling out of your mouth, count to 5. And for her, you just say, bring in love, and whatever that means. And maybe she can make up in her imagination things that she loves. Well, my phone. Let me turn that off. Sorry about that. I usually have it off. I would do that. Things that she loves, think ponies or flowers, whatever, in her imagination. And when she inhales, maybe she can inhale the essence of those things and exhale any worries or fears that she might have. But it'd be interesting to see where that comes from. So that's my advice. I would say that's not a course right now. We'll just do that. Okay. Bernadette, why some people can't see their spirit guides and others can? I don't know. It's like I'm 5'5", but I want to be 6'1". What is that? So it's a number of reasons, sweetheart. I think it's a number of factors that are involved. I think genetics play a little bit of it also, but how someone is raised, their belief system, how they look at the world, their perception, how much time they spend on the inner world of self and opening themselves up to the other worlds around them, the realms around them. It's their makeup. It's also how they're made up. So it's different things. Some people are very skeptical. Some people are very open. So and there's those in between. So a little bit of all that. But it's important that I think as we go through this journey, that we can't force people to see things or tell them about things. We can just have our own experiences and share them. And what other people think of us, of course, is none of our business. So it doesn't matter. But just by sharing that, one of the great things I've told people over the years, when they've had readings with me, group readings, and they've had some incredible evidence, and they say, "Oh, I can't wait to go home and tell my husband. Oh God, I can't wait." I said, "Well, he might not understand it because he might not be open to that, and that's fine." And what it comes down to is everybody's life experience. So you could say to your husband, "Well, I had a dream last night, and so came in my dream." Now that he would understand because he's had dreams too. So it's a matter of reference points. So he'd be able to reference that. So that you can understand. So things like that, you can teach people, open people up by using examples like that. But we can't force other people. And people have to go on their own journeys. We can guide them, but we can't walk that journey for them. Okay. Susan. Okay, Susan. Do you keep seeing your dog that passed away? I'm sorry, I forgot her name. Maisie May. Good question. Susan, I don't see her as much as I used to. Before I got Pearl and Minnie, I see her a lot. And then she was gone for several weeks when the dogs were, before they came to me. And then I finally saw her and she was very limp like a rag. And I said, "Maisie, what happened?" And the thought that she gave me was she's been training the puppies. The funny thing is, of course, I gave Minnie to a little boy who needed support. And he's loved Minnie loves him. Pearl is with me, and Pearl, very funny, but certain people come to my house say, "Well, she reminds me a lot of Maisie. She has that softness." I said, "I know, for an 11-month-old puppy, she's kind of like quiet for a puppy. She's not and she's very much, Maisie was very similar to that." So can a part of that fragment of that soul be in there too? I don't see why not. It's almost like water can travel into different things, right? So there's an essence of, I think, her in there. I do believe that. I mean, you can't limit love, that's for sure. And animals are all about love. Anyone I see ever treating an animal badly, I kind of go off on it. I don't know what it is. That and children, treating children badly and animals badly, I just have a hard time. I got to learn to be more compassionate. Sharon, hi. Why is it the more I meditate, I see visions? Why is it the more I meditate, I see visions of people? I don't want to see these people that I don't know. It scares me. Any suggestions? Well, nothing to be scared of at all. My Mediumship 1 course, perfect for you. Or the Psychic Certification course to teach you grounding, perfect for you. So it's just a matter of you wanting to be in control, and you can't be in control, right? You want to be in control, but these things happen. So, but you can open yourself up when you're ready to be aware of these worlds, and then close it down. But the fear, the human mind can create many things that happen. This can get us in real trouble and create horror stories and fear and all that sort of thing. There's nothing to fear but fear itself, which Roosevelt said. It's very true. But the more you become aware of this world, of your own energy fields, of your own energy, your chakra system, and who you are as a soul, and accept yourself from your heart, not your head, not trying to control things, just being in the space and being very neutral, it would be much better for you. And it's nothing to be scary about. Really isn't. Nothing to be scared about. I used to see them all as a child. I used to see them all the time. And before I go to sleep at night, I'd see eyes too. But I always felt love. Whenever you feel scared, think of something you love. Just turn that to a positive, not a negative. Because all there is love. Fear is a human emotion. Love is spiritual. Love is the essence of everything. But fear is a very limited human emotion. And that's a waste of that love energy. Okay, Sharon, I hope that helps. All right. Hi, Laura. Grounding and earthing. I never heard that term, earthing. I like that. May help, but James is spot on. Sit in the stillness. Yeah. Grounding and earthing. Yeah, that's true. And you're right, Laura. Grounding is very important. When you're sitting, become aware that you're like a tree, that you are that tree, and put your roots straight down to the earth and feel connected to the earth. Because it's also when you're in that space, sometimes you're in your head too much. So you want to be grounded. You want to make sure that there's a nice balance between earth and sky. Thank you very much, Laura. Good suggestion. Here we are. Love that you're twice a week, James. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I'm still working it out, and we're doing the graphics, and we're going to get more organized with it. But I want to give more to people, and and help people. Hi, Julia. Nice to see you, sweetheart. Maisie came to me and showed me the picture of 2 puppies. She had her paw out as if she was touching one of them. It was a blessing. There we go. I've often wondered if she once touched was Minnie or Pearl, and if she was indicating he'd keep wanting to give one away. There you go, Julia. And Julia's a fine medium in Canada. And Julia painted a lovely painting of Maisie. Thank you for that. Still have it on my bookshelf there. It was great. Thank you. I will say one thing, Julia, and everybody else, that after Maisie died, probably a month afterwards, a good friend of mine from Ohio, my good friend Jordy, she said to me that she called me up and she said, the weirdest thing happened. And I said, what was that? She said, well, my friend's daughter was in the hospital, and I think it was a daughter or granddaughter, like 5-6 years old, some granddaughter. And she said, she was not doing very well, but she came out of this, I guess, a coma state. And when she was able to talk, they said, how are you? She was, I'm feeling good. A white and black puppy came to get me. And she described Maisie perfectly. And before that call with Jordy, Maisie had come to me and said she's going to help children. That was very interesting. So I enjoyed that. So there we are. All right. Well, everybody, good to see you again. And lots of love to all of you. And I will see you on Monday and the next SoulCARE, and or tomorrow, 28 Days of Love. God bless you.